sell it on Facebook Marketplace as a Power Wheel. And
Yes.
then
Special
it's a
edition.
special edition
Yeah.
Power Wheel
The
with lots of bricks
Power
of
Wheel.
yes. It's weird. Nobody questioned why it went for 10K.
It's fine. What's the limit? The IRS can't look at that. It's fine.
I know it's
It's fine.
perfectly fine.
Normal transaction. It's fine.
Anyway, welcome to the Master of Unlocking podcast. This is this is normal conversation leading up to the podcast. Is how we sell children's toys full of drugs. So now now we've been officially been marked by YouTube as we're peddling drugs. So great.
Contraband.
Contraband. I feel like I do.
Horrible movie, by the way. Did you guys see
Contraband.
Contraband? Oh,
No.
It is. Oh, Mark Wahlberg.
Okay, I was gonna say, I was like, that sounds bad.
And what's her face? Sexy McSex face.
Yep.
Not K. She was in the new Total Recall. We were talking about Total
Kate
Recall
Mara?
last year. No.
Kate Beckinsale?
Underworld.
Kate
Yes,
Beckinsale.
thank you, Kate.
Oh, which
Kate Beckinsale.
yes, very sexy McSex
Yeah.
face. She is.
Yeah.
She is very attractive.
Yeah, she's attractive.
I do have a quick follow up from last week. I don't remember if this officially made the podcast or the pre podcast. But I went to the same McDonald's that you went to, Caleb.
Yeah.
On the Main Street McDonald's. Had the same issue, but I ordered from the app, didn't go through the drive-through, pulled away, went to take a drink of my soda. It was definitely cherry Coke and not Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Yep.
Speaking of McDonald's, well, what did you get from McDonald's?
I got a triple cheeseburger
Ooh.
and a large fry and supposedly a Diet Coke that was very cherry.
I have a fast food review.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Exclusive review.
Exclusive review. I'm very excited.
Yeah, here we go.
I'm glad that you came to my pitch meeting, Caleb, because I have a pitch for you guys.
Okay.
About fast food.
Yes.
Go ahead, Caleb.
The McDonald's spicy McNuggets.
Yes, I need a review on this. I wanted to get them and I forgot.
So you guys know I'm not a huge fan of spicy stuff.
No.
But so I got these. There was a promo where if you got 6 of the spicy, they gave you 6 of the regular for free. So I'm like, why not? Right?
Yeah, just get them to try. Sure. Now I feel like I need to look up that promo.
It was one day only. So it's
Was that in the app? Was
Yeah.
it in the app?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They of the big 3 of the Wendy's, BK, McDonald's spicy nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
McDonald's are definitely the best.
Oh,
like by far. I don't think I would actually order them though. They taste just like regular McNuggets, except for they leave the spicy taste in your mouth afterwards.
okay.
So it's not like they affect the taste or anything,
So you
but
still
they just
prefer
kind of
regular
leave
nugget?
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair.
But the Wendy's ones have a weird taste to them. I don't like the taste of those at all. And the BK ones just taste like pepper to me. So I don't know.
Yeah, the BK
The
ones are
McDonald's
pretty
ones
flat.
Of the 3, the
ones-
McDonald's ones are the best. But like 6 out of 10, I would say. They're okay.
All right, that's fair.
Those Burger King nuggets I've only had once. It's when they came at they've always been cheap, but they launched them at 10 for $1, and now I think it's 50 cents, like $1.50 or whatever it is. It's still dirt cheap. I went and grabbed them, and I have never felt so bad in my life. I can eat fast food, like it doesn't make me feel terrible, but those, I don't know, like I felt my body like this is a tier below where you need to be, fella. Like this is like slushy a day diet from 7-Eleven here. You just you don't want to dip below this bar. So I did not. I don't think even if we proposed a challenge of sorts that involved a Burger King nugget, I might just declare myself the loser. I can't do it.
No, I'm good. I'm good with.
Wendy's fine. McNugget fine.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Okay. All right. Any other hot fast food news for the week?
While we're talking about it, I think we should assign a fast food item each week.
Okay.
That's what I think we should do.
Okay.
Just one. Nothing crazy. I mean, it could be a side. Nothing like you don't. I'm not talking like go finish 12 Whoppers
Oh,
kind
okay.
of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like,
This is not a challenge thing.
go try the fries at KFC and report. Like, go eat a normal thing, like a normal person.
Mm.
Don't walk into a fast food challenge every week. I'm not trying to. Let's save that for later, perhaps.
Does Well, we're thinking about that. Does Taco Bell have something random right now? Like,
Yeah, what's the is there
I'm
anything
I'm going
new
to
out, I guess is the
ta.co because that is also that's
So
how you get to that
I do
website.
know that it was for a long time. I don't know if it's around, but a long time during like work at home for most of America, it
Mm.
was the grilled cheese burrito.
Yeah, that one was okay. I had it. It was
But I
super.
don't know now.
It was super cheesy. Looks like the thing that they're doing right now is just a $5 grande nachos box. That seems to be. Uh, there's a pineapple freeze, but I don't want to get into their weird drink world of fast food.
I don't.
I
Yeah.
I can't get
If you
into
guys want
Taco
to do
Bell's
food, I'm good with
Baja.
food. But
Yeah, I'm
I'm
not.
not going to do the diabetes in a glass if that's
No,
okay.
I would like to avoid that as well. Trying to think of anything goofy right now going on at restaurants.
I'm looking at chewboom.com, which is the go-to source for fast food news.
I did see that Wendy's was doing. They had a pretzel bun something going on right now.
Yeah, it's like a pub cheese pretzel bun bacon cheeseburger.
Something like that. Yeah.
That
Or
sounds all right.
or I would also say that has anyone had Wendy's breakfast yet?
No.
No.
I have not.
There we go.
I mean, I usually don't eat breakfast,
I
but
don't
I guess
either.
I could make an exception.
I don't eat breakfast either, but I would maybe like for the week challenge, I would and have your own thing. No, no, you don't have to. Yeah, just take a stab at a breakfast sandwich or something at Wendy's this week.
Okay.
There we go.
All right,
Yeah.
All right. Challenge accepted.
challenge
I
accepted.
said it wasn't a challenge. Now here I am saying challenge accepted.
I think it's going to, for me. It's going to be my daughter has a softball tournament this coming weekend. So I'll just load up that morning. I'll go. It's right on the way. I can just turn in and get a Wendy's breakfast sandwich. I think we're gonna do that.
Yeah, the only thing I'm saying that's been brand new this week, Bob Evans introduces new hand-breaded crispy fried chicken. It
Uh,
actually looks pretty good, but that's the only thing I
but
can
that is
see
not
that's like
fast food.
new. Yeah.
No.
I don't want to
Oh,
get
the
wildly
red
out. Go ahead.
the Red Lobster Dugarita.
I did see that was a thing that they are doing margaritas with Mountain Dew.
Oh yeah, I heard about this too. Yeah. Isn't Red Lobster higher bar than Mountain Dew?
No,
No.
if anything, it's lower.
I don't know if like Long John Silver's Red Lobster. Like I don't know.
I mean, Red Lobster's not long. I mean, there's a person that comes to a table and pretends to be a wait staff person at Red Lobster.
Right? Yeah, and yeah, it's
I
perfectly
mean, you don't get
fine.
that at Long John's. So
No,
I don't know. I would have expected that from a like
a
Casey
Chili's.
gas station. No, shut your mouth.
Gas
Chili's is
station.
fed. I don't know. Like
For
I
your road
just
trip, get the Dugarita. Get back on the interstate with
I
your
don't know.
Dugarita.
Yeah.
There's a Mountain Dew sommelier like
Mm.
at Casey's. Yes, sir. Here you
Yes,
go. Sir.
your frozen burrito will pair well with the code red.
Oh man.
This way to the microwave, sir.
Yeah. Oh, the maitre d will put it in the microwave for you.
All right,
Oh,
we got a
man.
ton of game stuff to talk
We
about,
do.
so we should
Oh
probably
my
move on.
gosh. So
You're right.
let's just get right into it. PlayStation. Boy, was that reservation thing a shit show.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, it was.
oh boy. So
Can we? I don't want to.
yeah, I don't even know where we want to start.
I have a little bit. I've been thinking about this like you in the past 45 minutes. Do you guys want to go like in a chronological order, like a timeline of events that day,
Yeah.
to best tell
Let's-
the story and then interject our personal experience
So
in the timeline? Is that okay?
do we
That's
want
my proposal.
Yeah, do we want to actually like hit on like the actual like the stuff from the Sony press event? Like go through the
Yeah.
event too? Yeah. Okay, so I've
Yeah,
got
why not?
I wrote down everything down. So the press event opens with Final Fantasy 16.
At what time?
This would be 3 p.m. Central Time.
Central.
3 p.m.
Okay.
Central Time.
Go.
It Final Fantasy 16. It is a console exclusive, so which means it'll come to PC. Was there a date on that, or not? I was gonna say a date. Was there a year? It
Nope.
didn't even say 20. I
Nope.
didn't think it had anything to it.
Nothing.
To
Yep.
me, that looks very Final Fantasy 12-ish.
Yeah, they went back to the dark political type
Yeah, which is not my
setup.
favorite
Yeah, me neither.
type of series, but it also seems
Me
like
neither.
it also seems like they're talking a lot about the crystals. So does that also have to do with like that Fabula Nova Crystallis stuff from Final Fantasy
They
13? They hit
I
on that a
think
lot.
most Final Fantasies have crystals in them at some point. So
There is the Crystal
I think it's just
Chronicles.
kind of like one of the things they try to
It's
connect in
always
all
a
the
thing.
games. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my only nervous thing about it is boy does that game just look like a bunch of knights, and
Yeah.
even like the playable characters don't look like they're anything unique.
They
So
got a lot of ground to make up for me because I really didn't like 15 all that much at all. So
yeah,
they got a
15
lot to
was
prove.
fine, but it didn't wow me by any means. So
It looks like it's. I wish. Well, I have the same impression you guys do. What I didn't enjoy 12 very much at all.
no.
I did not finish it. I did not finish 13 either.
Did you even play
I didn't
15?
even play 15 because of both of you telling me, like you're not mad you played it, but also off of your recommendations said, especially with us doing this project in that time frame,
Mm-hmm.
like you said not to play it, so I didn't. And then I didn't see 12. That makes sense from what I played at 12. Why you guys would think that, but I was like, oh man, like did we overdose on the Game of Thrones at the wrong time? Like, were you writing this in the middle of season 3 of Game of Thrones?
Maybe.
That's how it felt to me.
Mm-hmm.
Was inspired by that. I hope I'm wrong, but yeah, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting that all three of us are not super high on. I didn't dislike what I saw from like a gameplay perspective or a fidelity perspective or
No.
character design perspective, but the narrative concerns me the same as it
Very
does you
much
guys.
so too, because they
Yeah.
were kind of speaking through that narrative, and I'm going, oh boy.
I did like 12 quite a bit, but not for the story. It was just the gameplay part of it hooked me, but
Mhm.
the story I don't even remember what
Those
happened.
characters at least looked unique. Like they
Yeah.
had, like there was a bunny, there was a guy named Balthier,
Fran.
Is that
Yeah.
Vaughn? Is
Vaughn.
that the
Vaughn,
Yeah.
no, Vaughn. Well, that's the other thing too. Is like Vaughn is the guy that you play as to start the game, but he's really not the main character.
No.
The main
Okay.
character is really Ash, so it's a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on.
Then we go to Miles Morales.
Yeah. I thought it was a little strange that they did so long of a demo on Miles Morales when it's not really that long of a game. It seems like.
Well, I mean, if it was I think
Did
a
we see
6
a
or 7,
significant chunk of that game?
I think a 6 or 7 minute gameplay demo is what we saw. But if that game's longer than, I think they said what, 10 hours?
Oh, did they actually say?
I think
Okay.
they said it was going to be an Uncharted Lost Legacy length of game, which would be 10 to 12 hours. And that's fine. To me,
Yeah.
that's perfectly fine. I'd rather have some 10 to 12-hour games.
I honestly just kind of tuned out at some point because I'm like, I'm already gonna play this. I don't need to see such a
Yeah,
big chunk of it.
I didn't feel like I saw that much of it. I felt like it was okay. I think we saw one fight scene, but I didn't think
There
there
was a
was.
lot there.
Uh-huh.
It was, yeah. Well, they started with him walking through that marketplace for a
Yeah.
while, and then
So
it was just,
it looked real nice.
yeah, it does.
So I'm excited to play that. That's for sure. Also, which was the surprise. Yeah, I'm not even gonna do. Nope, I can't do it because we're going timeline. Then after that was Hogwarts Legacy.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not for me, but I wasn't into Harry Potter, but that's gonna sell a lot. There's gonna be a lot of people playing a Harry Potter game.
I wouldn't be surprised if you end up liking that too, even as a non-Harry Potter person.
I don't know.
It looks really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it does. At some point in time, I should watch Harry Potter. I just, it's not it's not that I dislike it. I just didn't watch it.
It would take a fucking miracle for me to play that game.
There you go. Just being honest down there.
I'm gonna call it my game of the year,
true.
and then you'll have to at least look at it.
God, see, that's how this works. That's
Every
how
time.
Logan winds up having to play Stardew Valley at the beginning part of a year.
You made me play this game. I put a significant amount of time in that game. Then
2021 was on that.
It was, yes. They did have a 2021 on that. Followed that by Call of Duty Black Ops. Well, sorry, Call of Duty : Black Ops : Cold War.
They didn't, as far as I saw, they never put a Call of Duty on it. It was just Black Ops Cold War.
Oh, really?
Which I thought was interesting.
I
have to go back and look.
I'd have to look and see it like at
a
a listing.
Yeah.
Anyway, they put body shields in that game. You can grab somebody and make them a body shield. That looks like a really nice polished Call of Duty.
I think that game looks sick.
I think it looks really good.
I could be wrong, but I like the arena, the time frame they're telling that story in.
Yeah, I like Robert
and
Redford.
Sort of oh God, who doesn't? He's the best. He's the best. Yeah, Sneakers with Dan Aykroyd. God, great. I think that's a place that they haven't visited in the Call of Duty, not arc, but that's just a time frame they haven't done yet. It's a kind of an interesting idea, and it's a good Black Ops fit because it's true Black Ops, right? These are off the record missions. These are things that never took place, right? So that's kind of a cool way to spin this sort of heavy combat thing. And no, this never happened. I'll be curious to see what the encounters are, because it won't be like the typical theater of war from a Call of Duty game. Like we're just off Modern Warfare and like the world is on fire, right? And this looks like it's going to have to be a little more crafty about its mission design, where it's this giant conflict that is taking place that everyone knows about on the news. You know what I'm saying? Like the fake news stuff they do in Call of Duty, and this will have to be totally different.
Yeah. I assume we'll probably all attempt that campaign. Yeah. It's
holiday 2020.
Right. Yeah. They didn't forget. Is it a launch game? I think.
No.
It's not. Doesn't have a date?
No, just a holiday.
I could see that like Black Friday that week.
Yeah, that's a good Call of Duty window usually is that Black Friday week or the week before Thanksgiving. After that we got Resident Evil 8 Village, or is it Resident Evil Village 8?
It's not Resident Evil 8. It's just Village Resident Evil.
Oh, that's right.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Like Village : Resident Evil?
I think so, yeah.
And this happens this is Ethan, right? From 7?
Yeah. So it's 8. I mean they highlight the logo in it like 8.
Yeah, it's the VILL is 8.
It's just a weird.
I don't know what the hell's going on with that game, by the way. I don't know what to make of that trailer. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
It's more than the oil monsters from 7 or whatever the hell that was, because that's pretty abstract compared to this. Looks like some combat coming at you, and different types of enemies, and I don't know what's going on there. It almost seems like they're doubling down on the psychedelic nature of 7, and I'm not sure if that's a good thing. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I am too.
I am too.
That's also a 2021, right? It's just
they have Capcom has a tendency to release stuff early in the year.
They do. So
I wouldn't be surprised if this was early next year.
That would be nice if it was like a Game Awards thing rolled around and all of a sudden they were like January 22nd.
Yeah.
Like that would be great.
Because they did that with 7 was in January or February. Monster Hunter was,
and those release dates were announced like only a month before. They were all Game Awards. Hey, here's your thing.
Yep.
Well, I saw you visited the farm today, Jason.
Oh yeah.
No.
That's how crazy your day gets with the Logan's nose with kids. Like it was just seems like an hour ago. It was 10 o'clock in the morning, and here we are, and everybody's asleep, and I just
You
still have this
have
freaking thing on
your
me.
wristband on from going to the farm.
I took an L from a bush
Oh
in the
no!
backyard. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Oh yeah, we got it.
Pretty good. Yeah, Ellie's like, Ellie goes, Dad, oh my gosh, are you okay? I'm fine, thanks.
Was it bleeding pretty bad, or was it just?
It was. No, yeah, it was gushing out pretty good. It's got the, it's got the like, I'll walk into Caleb's office tomorrow and be like, cry for help or
yeah. I've got one here. I don't even know where it's from. No idea.
Happens, man.
No idea.
Happens.
Anyway, sorry. Moving on. They showed Deathloop again, which was supposed to be a launch title and is now delayed till sometime unknown when.
I have something to say on that one,
Yes.
Unless you guys are eager to talk about Deathloop.
Go ahead.
I am more excited by this trailer than anything I've seen from Deathloop prior to this.
I was as well. So
it kind of like clicked.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's what this thing is.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's collecting these characters mission by mission so he can just knock off all of them at the same time in the same area by the end of the game, I am in on that. That is not something I've done before.
Right.
So
measure
me excited.
I wrote those I wrote as a little note. I was like, I like the idea of this now. Like, that was all I wrote. I made myself little notes. So
I hope it's a little more open than what they were suggesting, though, because in my mind when they first announced it was like, okay, well, there's 8 targets, figure out how to kill them all in the in this one loop. But in the demo it was like you have to sabotage the experiment so that he goes to the party. Like, I was kind of hoping it would be a little more open than that, but maybe it still will be.
It sounds like you have options to do them at different times, though. Like, you don't have to do. It's kind of like Hitman, how you have like multiple people to kill.
Yeah.
Where it's like you can do them in any order, but depending on what order you do it in, might change how you kill X, Y, or Z. Like that. So maybe that's part of this. It may have a little bit of Hitman crossed into there.
I hope so.
Anywho,
the way that game looks is still that's always been the strength about it for me.
It looks like BioShock,
style. But it's something.
No, I wouldn't.
It's more than that, or more unique than that. Yeah.
Well, the aesthetic of it is like 60s grindhouse, which is really cool. And I don't think I've seen that in a game before either. BioShock is certainly not that.
Yeah, it's got that. It's like a 60s, 70s aesthetic, like brown, orange, beige. The color palette, it looks like Caleb's right. It looks like Tarantino's double feature trailers.
Deathloop
the graphics package for that. Yeah, it looks like that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
Death Loop.
Yeah. So yeah, they might have pulled a little bit from that. The next we had was Devil May Cry Special Edition. Sure.
Cool.
I like that game. Moving on.
Okay. Oddworld. Yeah, whatever.
Got nothing there.
Yeah.
Are you guys? I think I'm gonna play that. I think I'm gonna check it out. Yeah. Yeah. I think I have enough of I haven't played. Logan, you played the original Oddworld, right?
Yeah,
the
original Abe's Odyssey, and then I never played an Oddworld afterwards.
I didn't either. I played it on PlayStation 1, but it was one of those things when the PlayStation 1 launched, graphics-wise was unique and something you hadn't seen before. It used pre-rendered backgrounds, so everything looked pretty slick.
Yeah.
And I just remember being one of the huge strengths of the PS1 was figuring out like smooth animations that looked realistic on top of pre-rendered backgrounds was like a nice combination of fidelity you hadn't seen before. So for whatever reason, I'm in my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, technical leap forward, PS5 graphics. Maybe it's a nice time to check out Abe's Odyssey again, like I did way back then.
Yeah, maybe. So,
what's the date on that? Does that have a 2021?
No date.
I don't even know if it had a date on it.
Okay.
Then they threw a random Five Nights at Freddy's game out.
This is
I
like the
mean,
14th Five Nights at Freddy's.
right.
So
Yeah, I mean, I don't think either of us are into that. So, then they gave a little bit of Demon Souls remake footage.
that
Um,
looks awesome.
Caleb, go ahead. Go ahead.
This is the one game where, and we could talk about the actual console later, but this is the one game where I'm like, man, if I had one at launch, I would play the crap out of this game.
mm, yeah. I don't think I'll ever go back and I never played the first one. The Souls games just aren't me.
I mean, this would be a good entry point, but
Is it considered the most brutal of the Souls games?
maybe
It's just I heard that.
they all have their kind of ups and downs. The original was pretty unbalanced in a lot of ways, so
Mm.
kind of, but
This may have rebalanced it if they're.
exactly, yeah.
Mm,
Because
mm,
there was a whole system in the original game too, where it was like, depending on how many people were online, playing one way versus playing a different way, there was a whole like world. There was like a world meter that would go from like light to dark, and
mm,
depending on where that meter was, certain areas would open up, and then other ones would close off. So it had a lot of really weird stuff in it like that,
mm,
and so I'm not sure what all they're going to bring over for the new one.
mm,
But I think that's kind of where it gets the reputation of being like a little off-putting, because there's a lot of systems layered on top of systems in the original.
mm,
So I don't know if that'll be in the new one or not, or if they'll streamline stuff.
mm. Okay.
I think that game looks incredible.
It looks nice. Looks very nice.
I was like, I really, that was including Call of Duty. I don't know, you guys, if you want to scrape your brains real quick, but for me, visually, I think this was the visual of the event, whatever you want to call it. For me, I don't
That
know, for
marketplace
whatever
walkthrough of
reason.
Miles Morales still
Okay,
that one. Maybe it's because of all the lighting.
okay, all right,
That might have done it for me. That looked real nice.
okay,
But you could kind of
okay.
tell. I think even on that Call of Duty one, you could see where that ray tracing stuff with because of the spotlights in that real dark area and how the shadows moved with just ever so slightly, even with while you're in combat. That really impressed me a lot too. I trying to think in that Demon Souls thing in my head if I saw like anything that just really jumped out at me, but I think it was the environment
The
that you were in
the one thing that
that
I
lead to
saw
that.
in the Demon Souls trailer is, and I could be wrong on this, but it looked to me like when he got up against the boss at the end, that like when he was like he slash it with the sword in like the fat part of his stomach, and then that mark would like stay and bleed, even though he backed off and went to a different area or whatever. That's what it looked like.
Mm,
It might have just been
I might have
really
missed
good
that.
scripting, but
Yeah, I may have just missed
We
that.
I wonder, and that's a thing for this generation is how fighting games have done that for a long time, but that's because they're fighting games. But like this, like God of War is as good as it is. Like there was like superficial markings on the character models, but
Mm,
it wasn't actually like dynamic to the damage that you dealt to that
yeah.
character. So it'd be interesting to see if Caleb that is true, or if we see that as like a technical leap this generation. But I was surprised the way I reacted to that, because normally I'd be with you, Logan. Like, oh,
Mm,
I don't play any of these games. I've
mm,
tried them and I'm not very good at them.
mm,
Um, but something about it, I was drawn to it,
mm,
and I was surprised I felt that way. So
mm.
we'll see. I will play that. Check it out at least.
Fortnite. Moving on. PlayStation Plus collection. If this is their answer to Game Pass, it's pretty sad. Uh,
I don't know. I think this is a really cool step in the right direction for
if it's a
them.
step in the right direction, but if it's 2-year-old games that are
But
on the,
did you see the lineup of the games that they're
they're
putting out
great. But I
there?
guess the thing is
It's
I've
like
played all of those
12,
games.
like, yeah, you have. But
Yeah.
like for somebody picking up a PS5 at launch, and with the lineup being the way it is, the launch lineup for the actual PS5 being that way,
Hmm.
for somebody to be able to go back and play the greatest hits, like literally of the PS4.
Is
That's pretty cool.
is that going to be only for PS5, or are PS4 members going to be players going to be able to have that at their
I don't know.
fingertips too? It
It's a
seemed
good
like it was
question.
just, this is the PlayStation Plus collection. Like, you're just going to have this with Plus now.
It wasn't marketed to PlayStation 4 gamers that way, right?
I don't know if it was marketed either direction, was it?
Yeah,
I
they
think it said
specifically
playable
said
on PS5.
Playable
right,
on PS5. Okay.
because they said playable at launch on
Playable at
PS5.
launch. Okay. I guess
Yeah.
maybe we need to do a little more research and find out if that is true for PS4 members. But I guess, yeah, that was the only thing for me was, okay, as a PlayStation, I wouldn't say fan, but as a fan of those type of games that Sony first party puts out, I played 10 of the 12 of those games because that was, I mean, I didn't play Days Gone. I didn't play Ratchet and Clank. That was it. So
I agree with Caleb that this is a good step in the right direction. I think the three of us, I think if we praise Game Pass for what it does well, whether it's a new game, first party, or it's a really great old game that people maybe have missed, the odds are high that we've played that old game because we are who we are.
right.
But we would still throw a bouquet Game Pass's way for saying, that game ruled. Good for
Hey,
you.
great. Thanks for putting the Division on there.
And
Like,
maybe
yeah.
maybe we should, like Caleb said, compliment this offering from Sony, but it is not. It's not launch games like Game Pass is.
Right. Well, but it's also not at a premium either, because they're not charging you any more than they are for PlayStation Plus.
So it makes sense.
So I guess if that's what it is, and then that's, and I did see an interview afterwards that they did that said that, yeah, we're never going to put our first party games on a service like that. They said that the development cost and I can't remember what other word they used, but basically just, yeah, it's not a good business model for us.
It's not sustainable, is what he said.
Sustainable, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get too far into the weeds here, but then what makes it sustainable for Microsoft?
They're taking a big loss right now.
I think they're taking a big
loss. Their
Game Pass,
their approach is holistic Microsoft, in that we will absorb this hit from our games division, not only in software sales but hardware sales, to do what? In the service of what? That eventually that everyone will pay them a monthly bill like everything else.
If you're on the Microsoft ecosystem already and there's a game that's not on Game Pass, you're going to buy that game for that system and then they get a cut. So you, like, instead of going to my PlayStation to buy something, they're hoping that because I'm playing on Game Pass on my Xbox, that when that third party game comes out, I'm going to buy it digitally on my Xbox instead of on my PlayStation. That's part of it, I think, and I think part of it too is when people like just start signing up for this thing just because it's so cheap, and they have a huge subscription base that can cover for all the licenses they have to buy.
So
it's kind of the same with Netflix.
If that's true,
yeah, exact same thing with Netflix.
We're back to sorry, that's where I was going. Like, they would then expect that everyone has a Game Pass subscription in the way that everyone has a Netflix subscription. If that's true, kind of back to our console discussion from last week, like what they're doing and what their plan is for this generation, that seems like quite the gamble. Almost to the point where Xbox could go bye-bye if this doesn't work.
No, you got to remember that Microsoft is, as a whole, as a company as a whole, is so much bigger than Sony. They can absorb it. Sony, if they tried to do this, they couldn't do it because they don't have anything to back them up.
Sony is now.
But I can't imagine that a bean counter like on the board at Microsoft would be like, all right, games, you're in the red for 4 years in a row. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I guess you wonder how far in the red they are versus.
And I don't know. I haven't looked at any reports.
And if they're looking at, they're looking at that Game Pass revenue coming in and going, okay, it's steadily increasing. The user base is getting higher and higher. They're taking this gamble on this monthly payment thing. I
So the games division has pitched them Netflix. Like,
Yeah,
this
and
is what we want to be, but you're gonna have to spend money to make money and
Netflix
take a
operated at a
huge
loss
hit to do
for
it.
quite a while too, and then once they
that's
developed that user base,
that's been the big thing with tech startups in the past like 10 years or so is you grow your user base first and then you start making money off of them.
Okay.
So that's why you see a lot of these services pop up for like dirt cheap or even free a lot of times, because they're trying to get those numbers up so that they can say, hey, we have 5 million people subscribed to this, and then then they start making money off of those customers.
YouTube TV.
Yeah.
Think about that. When we first started doing YouTube TV, that thing was like $40 a month. They just every 6 months, $5 here, $5 there. It's now up to $65 a month. It was the greatest value in TV. Now it's about the same price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they developed a great user base and they put a great platform together.
Yeah, it's a good product. That's
Mm.
the trick of it, is that
Mhm.
it far from sucks. So
Right.
good for them.
So that's what they
Yeah,
did.
we got a little off topic there, but
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I want to circle back around, and I just want to say, like,
Uh-huh.
I don't want to immediately just say like this is garbage, like the PlayStation Plus offering is bad, because
No.
this is the thing that I was hoping would happen, is that we're sparking competition with the two manufacturers, so they're trying things they otherwise wouldn't.
It
So
forced their
I
hand.
think it's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, on something, and it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
I was hoping to
And
maybe
I'm
see
excited for
something.
my friends, like the people that I know that are getting PS5s that didn't really play much on PS4.
Mhm.
Now they just have access to like literally probably 12 of the best games
Oh,
for
yeah.
free.
hmm
That's really
There's
cool.
basically only a couple things that they'd be missing with The Last of Us Part 2, and I feel like I'm trying to think what other exclusive they would have. So not well, I guess because Final Fantasy VII's not a Sony brand. It's an exclusive, but not a Sony exclusive. Trying to think of what other else. I mean, because God of War's on there. That's one of the other recent things.
Mm.
Spider-Man wasn't on there, but that's also Insomniac. Just so some third-party exclusives. But anyway, they got Days Gone to play on
That
there, so
was
they're good to go.
Yeah, there you go. That was educational. Sorry, for me though. I'm glad we had that discussion because I was trying to understand
Mhm.
the pros and cons, and then how they're positioning these products, and if one is willing to take a bigger hit than another, especially on the developer and studio level, how does it make it okay for the other one? So that's really where I was going with that.
Yeah. So, and then after that, we got the price announcement. We got the $4.99, $3.99. So congratulations, Caleb. You were correct.
Was that
Uh,
no? I think that was Jason, wasn't it?
oh, it was
Yeah, that
four.
was
You did the
Jason.
four
Yeah,
4.99. I thought you did. Caleb, did you four
I
ninety
said
nine,
450.
4.49? Ah,
Yeah,
I thought it
yeah,
was. That was you.
yeah.
Sorry.
Jason nailed it though.
Yeah.
It's all right.
I went
We've got
contrarian
it.
and went like way high.
We've got it on the
Okay.
record. Luckily, this
All
is a
right.
podcast, so it's out there forever.
And it was announced November 12th, so 2 days after the Xbox, which oddly enough is a Thursday. Thought that was an odd release
Oh
date.
yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it's a Thursday.
I wonder if that's like, oh God, let's make sure they're there by Friday at everyone's homes.
Yeah, because I guess the
I
thing is, if they're
don't
gonna
know.
ship, they may not be here until like I'm thinking when my UPS guy comes, it's 4:45, almost every day. So Amazon truck usually is around like 2. U.S. mail is hit or miss between noon and 5.
All over the place. Sometimes
Yeah,
they don't show up for a
sometimes
day
they
or
don't even
two.
show up
It's
for a day. Yeah, so so we got that, and then at the very end we got and one more thing. You just got the God of War logo with Kratos talking, and that was a 2021, right?
it said 2021.
It said 2021. I'll
We're gonna
believe
have
it
to.
when I
That's
see
gonna
it.
have to be one of our topics here. If we don't have much else, is to go over the 2021 stuff, because
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be a huge year.
it's either gonna be a huge year or another huge year of delays. I think
Yeah,
it's
that's true.
yeah, we'll
Yeah.
see. So that was the show. So that ended at 3:45 Central Time, followed by about 15 minutes of everybody going, "What the hell's happening now?" Like, I don't know, for the last month, there has been every retailer has put out a thing saying, "Oh yeah, give us your email and we'll email you for
Oh,
updates on the
well,
PS5.
real quick,
Yeah.
before you get into that stuff, we should mention that then on Jeff Keighley's Twitter
Right,
account,
that's what I was
a
getting at.
bunch of other news came out.
So on Jeff Keighley's Twitter account, it was announced that Miles Morales would be a launch title, along with Demon Souls would be a launch title, Destruction All Stars, and which was not even brought up all day, and those would all be launch games, and so that was like one tweet, and then a few minutes later it was pre-orders will start going up tomorrow. And this was all probably around 4 o'clock ish that day. So, at that point in time, it was 4 in the afternoon. I think there was another couple of, then he tweeted that, oh, by the way, Miles Morales is a PlayStation 4 game as well. So if you would like to play Spider-Man Miles Morales on a PlayStation 4, that will come out day and date.
And Horizon?
And Horizon will also be when it comes out in 2021, will also be a PlayStation 4 game.
Which goes directly against what they said earlier in the year when they said we believe in generations,
And that we will
they
only
said there will
make
be a hard
games.
split.
Yes.
But they just completely changed course on that.
Mm-hmm. So then there was also a tweet earlier in the summer, or an interview with their head of marketing earlier in the summer that said everyone will have plenty of notice when PlayStation 5 pre-orders become available.
I saw that from Patrick Klepek.
Yeah,
That's who I saw share that.
I saw it.
And but what time was that? That was later on.
Oh, that was
right?
after the shenanigans. But I'm saying this was back in July that this guy had said this.
Yeah.
And so rumors started going around that on Twitter and Facebook and everything else that GameStop was starting to take pre-orders. So I called our
At what time?
This would have been about 5:30. I was at
Oh wow.
I was at a soft.
Hold on, sorry.
Yeah.
Let me interrupt. Sorry.
Yes.
Did you guys watch live?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I did not. So
I watched live. Yeah.
That's why I want to paint the picture of where everyone was at. You guys consumed this live. Did you guys also consume the news pretty much
almost
on time?
So all the Twitter stuff, everything else. So my daughter had a softball game at 5 that night. So I disappeared for a little bit. Got back online about 6:30 after the game. Just pulled up my phone and saw, hey, my local GameStop just said that they're taking pre-orders, and so I went ahead and called our local GameStop and said, hey, what's the pre-order process for the PS5? And they said, oh, we're taking pre-orders now, but we're already sold out. Which then led me to go, what? Like, that's crazy. And then I saw that, and then I called Target and Best Buy immediately afterwards to see if they were taking any in-person pre-orders. The guy from Target said, ours is already online. All the digital versions are sold out, but I think there's still some regular disc versions available. I go on Target's website, and this was all at about 6 o'clock at night. Or no, this would have been about 7 by now. So this is about 7 o'clock. I go on Target's app, go to add it to my cart, and it won't add to my cart. And then finally it just said, this item is no longer available. But our local Best Buy closes at 7 now, so with all of the COVID stuff, and I could never even get a hold of them to find out what was going on. And as I drove by there on the way back, all their gates were shut up at 6:55, so they just had given up for the day. I get home, start just looking online to figure out what's going on, and at about 7:15, it was probably about 7:15, 7:30. All of a sudden Best Buy's orders started becoming available. Like, you could get online and get it from Best Buy. So I get on Best Buy, I get one, add it to my cart. It's in my cart. I go to checkout, and it will not check out. It just constantly, when you click checkout, it just refreshes the checkout page over and over and over and over again. So I did that for, I'm going to say, about an hour and a half of trying to check out. I'm like, well, it's in my cart, so it's probably just, so I'm checking Best Buy's Twitter account, trying to find out if they're saying like, hey, if you've got it in your thing, keep it there, because I've done plenty of Jordan shoe launches before too, and Foot Locker will say, hey, we're having issues with checkout. If it's in your cart, it's yours, it's saved, just keep trying, it will be there. So kept trying. But if you went onto GameStop's website, you just got like it was their whole site had gotten DDoS attacked. It was just a thing that says this website is now blocked, and you could not get on it at all. I kept refreshing Walmart's product page, so I'm on Walmart's product page. My wife is refreshing Amazon's product page to try to see if she can get it up and going. So about 8 o'clock rolls around, and for whatever reason, GameStop's website just magically reappeared. The only reason I know is because I was following Jeff Keighley on Twitter, and he had said GameStop's is up and available. So I got on GameStop's website, went to add the full version. When I say the full version, I don't even, the $500 version, the disc version, and it said that they were sold out. They had a bunch of other bundles available. So I grabbed the first one that had Miles Morales in it, which was it had the disc console, Miles Morales, Destruction All Stars, a controller, and a year of PlayStation Plus for like $750. And so I went ahead, added it to my cart, and 5 minutes later, there was a very long loading checkout process, but it went through. So by 8:20 or so, I had a PlayStation 5 bundle reserved. So that was my story.
I don't have a story because I didn't even try.
So I went through about an hour and it was probably closer to hour 45 minutes of trying to get of secure a PS5.
So at this point, Logan,
Hmm.
you have a bundle reserved.
I have a $750 bundle reserved full of with everything
So
I want except for Destruction All Stars.
as you are doing this,
Hmm.
you send out a Discord message about the
Mhm.
Best Buy card.
Yeah.
And this is I am watching Sophia the First with
Mhm.
my daughter at 7:15.
Yeah.
And my plan is actually no, I'm watching on my phone. I'm watching the PlayStation event, sorry.
Mhm.
I'm like 15 minutes into the PlayStation event on my phone while she's watching Sophia the First. And so I see the Discord message pop up and I realize I know nothing about today. I
like
have
hours behind.
yes. There's the pricing announcement that I was expecting at the end,
Mhm.
but I was just not prepared because of what we'd heard prior to this event that I would have time to sit in front of a computer and make a drastic decision.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden I'm realizing, oh God, it's happening. And so I pause the event and I frantically start looking at retailers and I see sold out, sold out, sold out, sold out.
Mhm.
I try GameStop. Right about that time, you say, "Hey, I think I'm going to buy this bundle." I bought this bundle, and I'm like, I'm looking at it right now, and I'm irritated because I've just I guess lucky, but we rarely. I don't know. I guess there are a few occasions, but even at that, like Logan, if we needed an extra controller and we were hanging out with friends or whatever, or somebody wanted to play
Mhm.
the show, like one of us could bring the other's controller.
Mhm.
You know, like
Yeah.
I've never needed an extra controller
Mhm.
this generation anyway, and so maybe that'll be different in the future. I'm sure it will as
I
my
play a
kids
lot
get
with
older.
my kids, yeah.
Sure.
Mhm.
So
And my
that's
wife.
practical, but like
Mhm.
I'm looking at this and I'm like, I don't want this stuff. I do want Miles Morales probably,
Mhm.
but I don't want the rest of the stuff. I'm already a Plus member. Like, um, I don't like. Hey Loki, um,
Jesus.
I don't like that. I never did it. Even I worked at GameStop when they did that years and
Oh,
years and years
I
ago.
knew
And I
nobody would
didn't
buy
like
it.
it
That's why I
then.
went for it. Yeah.
Sure,
Mhm.
sure. Like there are people out there making the decision that you're making and I'm making to try to
Mhm.
determine. And so based on principle, stubborn principle, I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm going to keep looking. Um, which led to me basically like overnight, like every few hours, I would just wake up, check my phone, Best Buy, Target, Walmart, now in stock, just like refreshing all these pages and looking. And I did notice late that night, um, that You're right, Logan. You
I'm
okay?
good. I'm
You're
good.
getting dominated over
Yeah.
there. You're getting dominated by the cat.
Mhm.
I noticed that Target was doing the thing that other retailers were doing, where the product was quickly available, and then at checkout it would flake out.
Mhm.
But that would happen intermittently, like at 11 o'clock that night. All of a sudden, Target said it was available, and then it would freak out and not check out.
Mhm.
And then I'd refresh, and it was dead again, like just dead.
Mhm.
Then like at 2 o'clock in the morning, I looked, and it's I can add to my cart, and then I'd go to check out, and then it would flake out, and then I'd refresh, dead, not available. And so Target started to be the site that I tracked, and then the following day I was looking at all of them all day long, and then at earlier than that, like 4:30,
Four-ish. Yeah.
I'm getting my kids in a double stroller, getting ready to go for a jog, and I think before I disconnect and go for this jog, I'm going to check Target's website. Boom, available. Disc PS4. Pre-ordered it. It's on the way.
Nice.
Thank goodness.
Which
And
you.
then I sent you guys a message.
Mhm.
Hey, I just found one at Target, because I was really excited that I didn't have to pay the bundle price, because the bundles have not come back. The people that made that move, like, good for you. You have a PlayStation 5.
Mhm.
Congratulations. But those are not even, like, there was a Miles Morales bundle that went live later on at Best Buy. There was a controller bundle that went live at Best Buy,
Mhm.
a 2K bundle that went live, and all of those people were getting into carts. I was one of them, but people were having trouble checking out with
Yeah.
them. And the way the site structured it is, I think people were tricking it because it would add 2 items to the cart. Then they were dropping the extra item, the controller, the game, whatever,
Mm.
and then buying the PS5 outright. And I think that was causing the problems, to the point where I think an hour after I noticed that, the bundles were gone. They
Yeah.
completely ripped that promo off of their website. So that led me to, the following day looking and nailing one down and sending you guys a message. So that's my story intermittently. I
So
went from not knowing anything to panicking, and then finally figuring it
when
out
you messaged
quickly.
me on Discord, I immediately got on Target's app, searched PlayStation 5, added a $4.99 console, and done. I got another one. So here I am with two.
Good for you.
And not. I
People
am.
just rapidly unsubscribed from the podcast.
I know. So okay, God, cat, get out of the way. I will not scalp mine. I refuse. I will not be part of that group. So I'm trying to find anyone who would like my pre-order, my other pre-order. So we've been talking to, you know, acquaintances, to see if they would like one. I can still cancel my pre-order on GameStop, so I'm ready to cancel it. But I've got a couple of other people who are interested in it, and I will not sell it to them for a dime over what I paid for it, because I'm not an asshole. Not trying to scalp it on eBay or anything else like that. But I have the ability to press cancel at any point in time, and I will, because I want people to be able to get it. Like
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit on two of them for no reason.
And yeah, I have a buyer for you if you know.
I know you do, yeah.
You,
So, I'm waiting on one other person who I'd offered it to first to
Yep.
make a decision whether they are going to do it or not, and then if not, then I will let this other person who is also would like one to just pay me I believe with tax it's like $832.47. It's it's not a big deal. So we'll figure that whole thing out. But yeah, so I'm sitting on two, but that other one will go to someone else who deserves one. So, and Caleb, your decision was to hold off.
Yeah, I'm holding off. Have a lot of stuff that I that I need to pay for this fall, and there's the launch lineup didn't exactly. I mean, it's not stellar. I
No.
can wait. I can play Miles Morales on my PS4. I can hold out hope of all hopes that they release a black version of this console, because I hate white electronics.
Yes, I think they will.
It's
at some
just
point.
I think it's a smart decision for me to wait right now, and just come check out yours when you get it.
Yeah, you guys have you have a PC, you have a PS4, you have an Xbox
Yeah.
One. You are perfectly fine. You're not going to miss
The
out on anything, especially
the
the
only thing
fact
I'll
that,
miss out
yeah,
is Demon Souls. That's the only thing that I think
which
I would
technically is
have
a
to have
game
it
you've
for.
played.
But it's a game I played. I can maybe that's something. If I go to a store in the spring and find a PS5 in stock, maybe I pick up that and Demon Souls. Maybe I don't know.
Hmm.
We'll see.
Or Resident Evil 8 gets
Yeah.
it's announced early, and you're like, okay. Or you buy
For
the big
those of
black monolith.
you that don't know, Caleb bought a house, Mazel's,
Yeah.
Yes. So
and
yes,
that is thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that just kind of disappear.
right.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I respect that.
Moving
Like houses are
expenses, yeah, you don't think about it,
It's
yeah, that there's a lot of things
it's a
involved
lot.
in the
it's
early
It's a
just
lot,
moving.
man.
I know I'll be totally fine, but just like the $500 for the inspection, the $200 for the radon inspection,
It's a
The
lot.
Gotta
yeah,
rent a
it's just like
U-Haul.
little
I gotta.
things here and
Oh,
there.
I
Yeah.
want to I need to get this thing for the house. I need to get this thing, and like all that little stuff adds up real fast to
Yep.
be. Yeah, it's a thing. So yeah, I don't blame you in the least. So yeah. So
Especially because now you know you're gonna know maybe potentially if you broker a deal between a good friend of yours and Caleb, like, hey, I mean, you'll know three people, four people, five people. You'll know people with this console, so you get
Yeah.
to see it
yeah.
physically and check it
Mhm.
out and
Yep.
watch video in person. Like
Hmm.
that's the circles you run in, so you'll get to
Mm,
at least wise experience it a little bit.
right.
Yeah, I
Um.
could always just buy Demon Souls and then play it like an hour at a time at other people's houses.
Yeah. Just
There you
bring it
go.
over for a couple hours. Just be like, yeah, just come on
Caleb's
down.
in the basement again.
Like, what's going on? Because you're gonna live a lot closer to us, so that's for sure. Like, you can just come on
Jason
over.
Logan's kicking me out at 2, so I'll be over at 2:15 to continue my playthrough.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
fine. There you go.
Hmm.
We'll have your profile ready to
Yeah.
go.
Cloud saves.
You
It's
know the
fine.
code. It's fine.
Hmm.
Logan, real quick,
Hmm.
I want to bookend our pre-order
Hmm.
conversation. I'm excited to have this console. Are you staying home that day? Are you gonna put a lawn chair out and just wait? Like, what's the plan? You
Uh,
just gonna camp out front?
I think once I start to see, because the thing is the Target one actually says it's not going to be delivered on the 12th. It says the 13th.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It
that's a
says that Friday,
Friday.
right?
Um, so yeah, I think no matter what, I'm taking off the Friday. That's for sure. If it does, as it starts to get closer, I'll look at the 12th and see what's going on.
Yeah, that I don't know. With the way the deliveries have been
Then yeah,
lately,
I think
it
it'll
might
probably
not
be more than the
even.
13th. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take off the 13th because, yeah. But if I start to track some stuff and I think it's gonna make it to the house, yeah, I'm gonna lawn chair it up. That's
I
that.
might,
Hmm.
it might be just past mowing season here,
Oh, November. Oh
clo-
yeah.
close to it. So
Hmm.
I might just like put the deck real high and just kind of do laps in the yard.
Okay.
Just kind of push my mower around just for
Hmm.
fun.
Not even turn it
Maybe,
on. Just push it.
I don't know. Yeah.
Just pushing it
Yeah,
around.
just push it around. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that way I won't waste the gas, kill the environment. I'll just kind of
Yeah.
push my mower around
Or
and
you know what you could
look
do?
at every car as it enters the subdivision. Like,
No, you
oh,
need
sorry.
to get
Hi.
just pull out
Sorry.
the
Who's
grass
that?
seeder. Just fertilize the living hell out of your yard. Just
That's what I'll do.
yeah, just go,
Especially something not organic, like something with chemicals that'll just give it like an
yeah, a
awful
nice
lawn
sheen.
burn right before the
Right, just
like
it starts
before the
growing. It grows in the spring, and it just looks like straight up Mountain Dew. Like it's it's a Durita
there's
just
Mountain Dew
growing out of
again.
the.
Yeah, I'll put a Red Lobster sticker on my fertilizer.
Yeah, there you go.
Just all right. Yep. Exciting.
Exciting
So that
times,
takes
new
us through the
consoles.
day.
Yeah,
It was chaotic, and I think that they should have managed that a little.
they came out and apologized if that's a thing. But
Was that a part of Jim Ryan's discussion with the Washington Post,
I
or was that somewhere else?
I think it was on their Twitter account.
Okay, so I haven't seen the apology. I did see the Jim Ryan interview, and he said that there will be not plenty. He said there will be quite a few units available launch day at retailers.
And see, I actually heard the
So
opposite. I heard that Walmart is
that
not going to make any available on launch day because they don't want people crowding their stores.
I think that that's probably a good decision on a retail partner's
Mm-hmm.
um, part. Maybe that's why Target intermittently is making them available. I don't understand the manufacturing pipelines here well enough, like supply, demand, all that stuff. Like a pre-order turns on and then it turns off and then it turns on and turns off. I'm
It's
not
very
pretending that I
strange.
understand the
Yeah.
logistics
Mhm.
of that. But I would understand if that's to keep craziness down, to keep in-store
Well,
traffic down right now. I think that makes sense.
yeah, and I did see that, and I think from what I read was that Amazon's pre-order when they went live with it only lasted 18 minutes because they went live with it at 11 p.m. that night and it was shut down at 11:18. But I also saw people posting screenshots, whether they're doctored or not, I don't know. But one guy got 10. Like he bought
From
10
Amazon?
Yes. Like
Man,
why?
I don't want to talk about that too much because we all know that
Yeah,
there's that CD eBay element to this that really
right.
sucks.
It does. And
It
it's just, but
drives
like
all of
why
us
why
crazy.
can't retailers figure out that it's a limit one? Like it's
Yeah, put a caption on it and limit one.
And
Like,
so are you saying after all of the craziness, Amazon went live at 11 p.m. that night
that night.
later?
Yes. So they went live at 11
So after
p.m.
you observe other retailers doing it correctly, that's why that's what I mean. Like and I
Mhm.
accidentally had two in my cart from Target, and it was basically like, "Hey, motherfucker, don't you even dare!" is the message it said. I was like,
Oh,
"Whoa,
really?
bullseye!
Yeah.
So
And
vulgar. Come here, dog. Sit down, man.
like
It's fine."
you clicked add to order and like you double clicked it and it probably just did too.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
it was
probably
a
you were
total
so excited it was
accident,
click click like it was
but it was like, dude, don't you dare, don't you dare,
good.
don't you got a LaGuardia Meg?
I
Don't
mean,
you log into your PayPal account?
I don't know if it I mean, I don't know if somebody doctored that or not, but I mean, they showed their checkout screen. It was, like $5,000 retail
Who
and
knows?
I don't know either. It was really odd thing to see, but so yeah. Uh so that's been the PlayStation 5 stuff and supposedly there's going to be more
the
released this week, but
I did
to
hear with
retailers.
the because the people that are looking for new video cards are going
Mm.
through similar stuff.
Yeah, the
Those
3080s.
3080s
Mhm.
are just like nuts. And I heard that there's some people that are so you I guess there's a method you can pay on eBay where you have up to 30 days to actually make the payment. So people are going on the scalpers 3080s
Mhm.
and like buying them and then waiting the full 30 days to pay and then just not paying it so that they're like the scalper loses out the 30
Cuz I
days,
thought I
which I think
saw
is
something
pretty
too
great.
that you have to that you the eBay's rules were actually that you have to deliver the product within 30 days.
I think it's after payment you have to deliver it
Okay.
within 30
But
days or
these
something
consoles
like
aren't
that.
coming out
There's
within 30
there's
days.
some yeah, there's some loophole, but I just thought that was a great way to like punish the scalpers
Right. Yeah.
for
Like, here,
trying
I'll
this.
buy it. And then, yeah, just not going to do it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, let's go ahead and shift. You guys have anything else for PS5 or shift to games we're playing?
Do you just a question when you want to cover this? Um, do you want to talk about how Microsoft has positioned the release on this coming Tuesday in the wake of the PlayStation
Yes.
stuff, or
They,
do you want to talk about that later? Do you want to talk about that
no, we
now?
can go ahead and talk about it now. I think, yeah, they've, Xbox has basically come out and said, yeah, we're not going to screw this up. This is our date and time. I believe it's 10 a.m. Central Time.
10 a.m.
Central, it's
Central.
8 a.m.
Yes.
Pacific. I know that was kind of the
Mhm.
real thing they were pushing out was 8 a.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern, or 11 Eastern. But yeah, it looks like it's going to go live at a lot of retailers. I didn't see anything about the credit check thing with the payment plan, but I do find it odd that they wouldn't do one. Uh, but yeah, I've seen a lot of retailers are saying, yeah, you're going to have the option to choose uh, whether you want the payment plan or the direct $500 or $300 or whatever it is. So I haven't seen any other details surrounding that, but I'm curious what that'll look like when you go to a checkout screen. Because if
Yeah,
you,
there's a GameSpot article that's talks about all the major retailers
mm-hmm,
and links to all of them, the time, the price. But and it does discuss the payment plan option. But when I'm visiting these retail sites, I'm not I'm not seeing a way to engage the plan.
Right, which is probably not
So
there yet, but like I'm assuming you just have to give a credit card. I mean that I can't
I
see any
guess
like, and they just charge your card. And I guess if you're Best Buy or GameStop or whoever, um, what is your retail cut of that? Like, I mean, as a storefront, and what do you I mean you typically get, a little bit of retail markup on that, but what is your cut on a payment plan? Do you get the payment plan cut? Do you get it all up front? That's an
I bet
odd
you it's
business
just
move.
I bet it's a rebate to the retailer.
Yeah.
Like you get so many percentage points commission on this sale.
Yeah.
We will cut you a check per sale, this many points of the transaction is
Yeah.
probably what it is.
Hmm.
Because it's not a margin item, right?
Right.
Where
Yeah. It's
GameSpot buys a game for $50 and they sell
sell it
it
for
for
60.
60.
Yeah.
There's not, yeah. And just Caleb and I know this is a little bit of inside baseball, but
Mm.
games margin is trash for
It's thin,
resellers.
isn't it? It's like
It is
six to
terrible.
ten dollars
It's
at most.
terrible. It's
Yeah, which is
yes, it's
I'm
terrible.
no, not even that much in a lot of cases.
Hmm.
Like
It's
maybe
bad.
$2,
Oh,
It's
really?
and
bad.
yeah,
So what happens when
which is
like a
why
yeah?
I'm always surprised when Walmart sells games at $50. Like, how are you you're just absorbing
Well,
eight
are
bucks? I
they?
guess
They're
they're counting on
probably
people buying other stuff while they're at
well. Or
Walmart.
is
I
it that
guess
they're end up getting? Are they getting rebates on the back end from the developer or the publisher
M-
that says
maybe,
like,
Maybe.
hey,
but
yeah,
uh,
hey,
Maybe.
we can't sell. Obviously, yeah, like they're because yeah, Black Friday rolls around and brand new games that they would have bought for 55, $56 that they normally would have sold for 60, they're selling for 40 or 35.
And maybe big box retailers they have a different deal in place because of the volume that they buy at and the
Could be.
volume they distribute. I bet, but just
Well, in
from
Pop Shop.
experience,
Mm,
I have a professional relationship with the supplier for Best Buy and Target,
mm.
and if the value I see is what those big box stores are paying, then it's shocking that they even sell them because credit card fees alone kill the margin in new games.
All right, yeah. I mean,
It's
your credit
it's
card fees at least 1 to 2%, and
it's
on
crazy.
$60, there you go. That's your margin.
yep.
So I don't, we're just speculating, right? This is a new product, this payment plan, but it continues to be something that um, I just I'm so fascinated by.
I am too.
And
It's just wild.
will it work? And this is the first time we've seen this,
Hmm.
and um, I for I don't know. I do like when we see new things in this industry,
It
and I find it
And I
interesting.
wonder when they're going to market it to the masses, because I had a conversation with somebody this weekend who, you know, he used to play video games, he's in his mid 30s, hasn't, he'll come over and play like an old, Halo with me, or will be like, "Oh man, I used to play Call of Duty all the time and everything. I'd love to play a new one." And I just haven't bought a new console, and he hasn't had a console since an Xbox 360. So, but I told him about the Series S and the payment plan. He's like, "Well, that's pretty doable." And I was like, "Yeah, you can download Warzone for free and play it on there." Well, and he's starting to think about it, and he's like, "Yeah, that's all right. I could do that. I could do $25 a month, and then there's other games on it too. Yeah, you could go through and find a bunch of other games on Game Pass. There's stuff that you
Just
can
get Game Pass and you're set.
like you can play Warzone, and then you'd have all that stuff on Game Pass that your kids would play with." I was like, "There's games I play on there with my wife." Like, and he's like, "Oh," like, and I told him that Jackbox is on there, and he was like, "Oh, that's on there." I'm like, "Yeah." Like, he's like, "It's just free with all that stuff." I'm like, "Yeah, it's just a Netflix for games." Oh, okay. Like, and he just had no idea. Now he's looking into it. But that's me telling him, not Microsoft paying to advertise that out to the general public.
It's probably a little too early for that.
It might be. I mean, I guess
People aren't going to look at a commercial right now and be like, "Well,
no.
that's something I could get in November." Like
Yeah,
that's
that's
a little bit
true.
of a
It's
yeah.
well, because yeah, I wonder how well their pre-orders are going to do.
they'll start doing those commercials probably in November.
In November,
Like,
as it
go
gets
to the store now and do this
and
instead
yeah,
of wait until November and then do this.
yeah.
You know,
You want a PlayStation 5? Well, they're not available here. This is available now, and you can get it for $25 a month. It's a
Yeah.
hell of a value proposition. So,
Yeah.
anyhow,
Well, okay, yeah. Sorry. Before we talk about the games we played, I just wanted to
yeah.
preview the Xbox for this week. We'll see how that
Right.
goes.
And none of
Are
any
you,
of I
Logan?
guess
Are you gonna pre-order an Xbox?
no.
No, you're on the no. So
I-
you've got the console that you want.
Yeah,
You wanted.
if Halo Infinite was coming out, I would have had both. But
Yeah.
without both, without Halo Infinite, I'm not pre-ordering it.
It's like, what the hell are you playing?
Yeah, it's Gears Tactics. That's the only thing they have that I can't play today, and I'm fine.
But that's also, I mean, that's going to be available to Game Pass people in December. I pre-installed that yesterday. I pre-installed it.
Oh yeah, and it's available for Xbox One people. So why would you? Yeah, there's really nothing exclusive.
That's what I mean.
Oh, I do have a question. Maybe any one of you seen this? So Cyberpunk for PS5, is that going to be playable, upgradable on PS5? Anybody know?
I can take that one if you don't have anything to say on it, Caleb.
I don't know.
Yeah, so there was an article yesterday I read, and I'm sorry, I think it was IGN. I'm sorry, forgive me, I can't remember. It was a reputable source. Cyberpunk is launching on the current gen systems, and will play on the Series X and PlayStation 5.
Will play on there, but it's not a version difference.
Not yet.
Okay.
CD Projekt has said two things because they're CD Projekt and they're just
that's who they are,
the best. They've said, one, we're never going to make you pay twice for the same game. We've never done that before. We're not going to do it now. And then number two, we will have enhancements for these new consoles that will make them closer to PC, but we won't be ready at launch.
Okay.
So we're concentrating on the release of these current gen platforms. We will deliver the game we promised you, and as soon as we're done with that, we will begin to work on patches that will make them be different on the newer hardware, better on the newer hardware, but not right now.
So here's, I think, my plan then, because I have it pre-ordered on Xbox because I was thinking I was going to be all in on a Series X. So I thought, I'll just keep that and it'll upgrade path, because they already said originally that was going to be a free upgrade path, but just they didn't give a launch window for it. So if I play Cyberpunk on my Xbox, Caleb, you can take my PS5 for a couple weeks, and while I'm playing Cyberpunk, when I say a couple weeks, probably 3 months, you could borrow my PS5 and play a couple things on there while I'm playing Cyberpunk, because that's all about that same window.
I accept your terms.
Okay. Okay.
He drove a hard bargain, didn't he, Caleb?
What a negotiator! But wait, if Bugsnax comes out, all's off the table.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Because they haven't given a release date for Bugsnax.
That's fair. That's very fair.
Okay, so
Caleb, I think it's safe to say between the two of us, like, we will be forcing a PlayStation 5 on you at some point, because I'm not going to be willing to have an end of year discussion where you would potentially have a favorite game and not. It's just, we'll figure it out.
But if he can play Miles Morales on a PS4 too, it's
I'll
fine.
play Miles Morales on the PS4.
We'll try to see if we can make sure we can play it on a 5.
Not trying to talk you out of this plan because I like the plan, but why wouldn't you change your pre-order to PS4, and then that way when the PS5 enhancements come out, you have access to those?
Because I don't see the enhancements coming out within the window that I play the game.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
And I will not go back and play it again.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, I hope not.
Who can do that?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Well, we just saw today though they
who would do something like play Persona 5 or twice or something that long? I mean, who would be nuts enough to do that?
I just saw though that they did say today that it will be shorter than Witcher 3.
But I guess the question is how much shorter.
With that.
Like,
it didn't say.
Is it because how long was the original Witcher 3 campaign?
Probably like 65, 70 hours. Somewhere
So
between 60 and 70,
if it's
probably.
50 hours, that's less. But that's also
Yeah.
20 more than I want to play. Which,
Sorry.
yeah,
These
so,
are the kind of games they make.
I know.
It'll be, you know what? I hope, I'm hopeful, Logan, if I
Uh-huh.
may give you some positive, is that we've got the Assassin's Creeds, the Ghost of Tsushima's, the very good. I hope that it's more like GTA for you than it is those games. And the reason why I say that is because The Witcher is strong throughout and it does a really good job somehow, some way, whether it's character dialogue, character interaction, storytelling, pacing. It does a really good job of making you forget that it is that long because it's always doing something fresh. Whereas those games, like they're on rinse and repeat, and you're doing the same thing over and over and over again.
It's also
And
a
The Witcher
genre.
is not that.
When I say genre, it's also a, not genre is the right word, locale,
Setting.
setting. Yeah, there we go.
That's the
It's a
word.
setting that I will like to be in more than
Yep.
The Witcher or Assassin's Creed or Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, so yes, so
I do think it'll be long, but I'm hopeful for all of us that it finds ways to not be stale. And if I trust anyone with that, it would be a CD Projekt or a Rockstar, and that's pretty much it right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so Logan, I have a question for
Yes.
you. Did you do Elena's quest at the end of the game in Spiritfarer? Elena? I don't know.
Elena's quest. I did all of them. Who's Elena?
After you do the dog.
The dog. Yes.
So after you do the sending, it opens up another quest with her, and it seems like a giant grind and a half.
Wait a minute.
I don't know if I want to do it or not.
So yes, we have switched completely gears to Spiritfarer.
Yeah, I just
Time to talk about games.
Yeah.
I don't remember another quest opening up after I sent her.
Okay.
I really don't remember one.
It's like upgrade every station and complete these 5 errands with I don't remember the errand person's name. And the errands are all like get 50 coffee seeds and 50 tea leaves and 50 of, and I'm like, oh my god, this seems like a lot.
So you know why I didn't get that quest? Because I'd already done it all.
Well,
I had all those achievements. There was, because those are all achievements to complete all those.
No.
Oh, really?
It's not.
Oh, okay. Because I didn't get that quest.
Like upgrade your smith and your field and all that stuff.
I upgraded all that stuff.
There's no way you upgraded all that stuff.
You should see my boat.
Okay. Some of it is like insane.
Okay. I'm pretty sure I did. I upgraded almost every building because I've got a lot of those achievements.
No, they're not tied to achievements.
And they're not? Okay.
No. So don't go by that. Because I have, so here, let me preface it by saying this. I have all but one achievement.
Okay, which one is it?
The only achievement that I don't have is no, I did that.
Oh god.
I have to cancel the food subscription service.
Oh, that's the last thing you need to do. That's it.
But I can't do that because I haven't had the subscription service long enough. So I'm literally just sitting on the boat waiting.
How long do you have to have it for?
It's like 3 or 4 weeks, and I didn't know about it until I looked at the achievement guide at the end of the game.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I'm literally just standing on my boat waiting for this stuff. And I'm looking at the Elena quest stuff that you do at the it's like a post-game quest, I think.
Okay, because I never saw it.
Okay.
That's interesting. Well, because see, here's the thing though. I sent Elena. I had everybody saved to send at the end. So I sent them and then
so maybe it never popped up.
Finished the game. Because I don't want to say what happens.
Yeah, I obviously haven't done that yet either.
But... Right. So, but I did that all without leaving the Everdoor. So maybe that's why.
Maybe that's why. Yeah. But anyway, I really like the game a lot.
Okay, I'm glad you
we've
did.
we've talked about it a lot on previous podcasts, so
Mhm.
I don't need to go through it again. But it's spectacular. Yeah,
That game's real good. Like, yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I knew it would be a game you would enjoy. So I'm just glad that my feelings were right toward your preference of that game. So, yeah, and you kind of plowed through it pretty quick there this week.
yeah,
But you had
yeah.
the week off,
I
so
had the week off, so yeah, I played a bunch of it
mhm.
in big
And
chunks.
it is one of those games that you can just play in big chunks and just
Yeah,
lose hours and not even know it.
it's a really good podcast game too. So
Yeah, because like you get to a point where the music's great, but you go, okay, I do need something
yeah,
else to listen to.
yeah,
Yeah, so I'm just glad you really liked it, and I'm sure it will come up at the end of the year.
yeah.
Hmm.
Jason,
Jason,
have you played any more of that?
yeah.
No.
No. Mm-mm. I played a lot more of Ghost, and I did play one other game this week. Something new,
Ooh,
something fresh,
ooh.
something I don't like,
Oh no.
Wait, can I
something on
guess?
Game Pass.
Okay,
Yes,
it's on Game Pass.
yes,
Something.
it's on
Something
Game
you
Pass.
don't
I
like.
haven't, I haven't, I haven't, I haven't, I haven't discussed it obviously yet. I did
Ooh,
say it
can I
was on my
guess it?
list to get to.
Can I guess it?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh no.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
Is
yeah.
Okay,
it?
hold.
And I'll give you guys one more hint at
Mm.
the game. It'll probably give it the hint in my
Don't
mind
yeah
though will give
don't
it
get
away.
don't yeah don't give me a
So
hint.
is by something you don't like? Do you mean you played it and you didn't like it?
Yes,
Okay.
I spent in between 2 and 3
Don't
hours
look
on
at your
it.
phone. That's cheating.
I could
You better not be
I
looking at my games.
no, I was not looking at your games. I was looking at the Game Pass games because I was gonna say I so the game gonna say was Tell Me Why, but I was gonna say it was Tell Me Lies, and I was felt like it was gonna be wrong. But I don't think
Tell
you've
me lies,
yeah, I
tell me
because
sweet
that's
little
why.
lies.
Uh,
Tell me lies, tell me
but did
lies.
you play Tell Me Why?
No.
Okay, all right,
Mm-mm.
Did you play Wasteland 3?
Caleb, you son of a gun.
okay.
Well done. Well done. I that was inspired by I was browsing Game Pass this week because I'm always like, all right, what's old here? Wait, this didn't launch this year. I need to prioritize what launched this year. Gears Tactics. What's Gears Tactics doing on here? It says install. Okay, I'll install. And then I realized it was a pre-install when I went to launch it, and I was
Mm.
all, oh, I was excited to play this. And I think it's coming to console in December, which is a long preload, by the way. And then I decided, oh well, what else? Oh, I have Wasteland 3 on here. I'll install this because that's the same kind of game, right? And boy,
Kinda.
I
Like,
I hope I like Gears Tactics more than Wasteland 3 because
really?
I don't like it very much. I don't know, and maybe
Was
those
it
games aren't for me.
the combat you didn't like, or
I think I don't know if I have the patience to browse through those menus and be as deliberate as I need to be.
yeah, that's
Um,
fair.
and that is and I understand it's not a quality of game thing necessarily, but that type of game is fairly foreign to me. Caleb, I think it's the second video ever on the YouTube channel, or one of the very first ones, you had me play XCOM and kind of explained it to me because I didn't really know what it was. Um, and Wasteland, what's the name of that genre, Caleb?
Uh, computer RPG, CRPG.
Oh, I thought it was just called an
CRPG.
XCOM like. It's kind of his own.
That's how I would
Mm.
describe it. It shows you how much I know. So I'm sure this is a good one of those, but um I don't know. I don't know if I have the patience for it,
I'm with
and
you.
I'm not really interested enough in the story. And maybe if I had played the previous Wasteland games, I would have a fondness for the story, and that could help me overcome some of that. So I'm hoping that later in the year, when Gears Tactics comes to console, I will be interested enough in the prequel to Gears of War and what happens in the narrative to maybe overcome some of the pacing issues that those games
So
have for me personally.
yeah, it's those two games are kind of similar in their combat, but everything else is completely different. Um,
Okay.
so Wasteland is definitely a lot more involved. So you have your party members that all have classes, they have skill trees, they have weapons, they have all that stuff to deal with, and that's I can see how that's super intimidating. Especially those menus aren't the best. So I'm with you there. Gears is going to be so much more streamlined than that, which will work in your favor.
Okay.
You pick a your the class and the skill trees in Gears are very like they're very literal. Like this guy's a heavy gunner. Oh, this guy, okay, he's probably going to need to be in the front. Like that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Whereas in Wasteland, you have that, and the party size in Wasteland is you can have 6 people in your party plus NPCs, and I was just like immediately like this is too much. This is too much to keep track of with like leveling up everybody and having them equipped at all the times. So I actually took that off of my list. I was interested in it a little bit, but the more I think about it, the more like I don't want to spend dozens of hours in a game like that. I'm gonna have to like really you know pick out and dive into menus and stuff. I'm not in the mood to do that. So
Mhm.
I get it.
Yeah, I can't say it better than you have. I agree wholeheartedly. Just as a layman, to your having a better understanding of it than I do, but coming into it fresh, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot,
Yeah.
which is probably a good thing for people that enjoy those games. So I don't want to say that it makes it bad, but I'm saying if I'm going to invest time into something, it's probably going to be being diverse with the games that I play, and finishing up Ghost of Tsushima right now, rather than um, sinking into time or sinking time into something that is really just not. It's just not clicking for me. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's it. That's what I played.
got it. Caleb, what did you play? Anything else other than Spiritfarer? Or
Nope. Just Spiritfarer, really.
That's cool. I spent my week playing Marvel's Avengers.
Mm.
Here it is. I was waiting for the Marvel Avengers minute. This is much like your wrestling minute. Go.
Oh no, this needs a full. This
Okay.
needs longer than a minute.
No, go. We don't do superheroes on this
You've
podcast. Go.
already wasted like 15 seconds.
I think you guys should
Come
play
on.
this game.
Yeah, I will play this game
I think this
eventually.
game is better than people are giving it. The story mode of this game. I am only on the
Yeah.
story mode of this game. Uh, it is really the story is well written of this game. It is not just a kind of bullshit throwaway story. There's actually a pretty solid Avengers story here. Uh, it has nothing to do with the movies. It is very comic driven. Uh, so it's not like you're getting anything from the Marvel Cinematic Universe or anything thrown in there. Uh, I'm about 75-80% through the campaign right now. Just solely going off of I wanted to just see. There's a campaign percentage at the top, and it says I'm at 39%. But when I just pulled up a guide just to see, okay, how many missions are there in the game, and I looked at where I was. There's only 4 left, and I don't so but there's also a lot of side missions in that game that you can do, and I was just trying to rush through it. And a lot of the side missions, what they'll get you is different outfits. So like if
Mm.
I want to, like, oh, I want to get Black Widow's special outfit, like I can go do a spider. Yeah, it's a mission called Along Came a Spider. Or if I want to go get the Mark 7 Iron Man suit, I got to go do this other mission over here. But you have the option of it always pops up on the world map thing, and there's always the Avengers A by the story mission that you can go do, and then everything else is just available to you. And you can go back and play old missions. It takes about 3 to 4 hours into the game where you can actually start doing campaign co-op, which is kind of sucks. At the same time, I'm not sure how you would really want to do campaign co-op with that, because there's so many cutscenes and so many areas where we're in between missions. You're on the helicarrier and you're running around talking to people, doing more story plot stuff where you actually wouldn't have anybody with you. So I'm not really sure why they even made that an option, because it just seems like it would, like, if the three of us were trying to play that game together, it'd be a complete pain in the ass. Because it'd be like, oh, I'm done. Oh, I'm still doing this over on the helicarrier. Hold on, I'm gonna upgrade my stuff, and da 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 da, and I'll be 5 minutes. So I think that part of it is broken.
God, do I really sound like that? I'm the
You
worst.
do.
Sorry.
You sound terrible.
That was a really good
Terrible.
impression.
I know.
Ah, dead on, huh?
Um, Other than that, there is some nice parts of, like, you can select like who you want to come with you on missions. So there's some of that, and you can select who you want your main character to be. Not every mission you get to do that, but especially now that I'm getting late game, that you're collecting more Avengers, for lack of a better term, because you start off playing as Ms. Marvel, who is her real name in the real name. Her name is Kamala Khan, and the whole thing starts with you're playing as her character. I won't, since you guys are going to play the game at some point.
Is she related to Shao or Kodal by chance?
Yes, if that's what it takes to get you to play this game, then yes, she is. She is
The
a
answer is
con.
yes.
Yes, she is a con.
Fantastic.
So you play as her for.
No, it's actually she's related to Sheer from the Jungle Book.
Oh, Shere Khan, yes.
That one.
Yeah, that con. Yes, Rudyard Kipling made sure to connect those two. um. Uh. So anyway, yeah, you play about the first 2 hours as her, and then you start to accumulate more Avengers that you start to play as. You always end up playing at least one or two missions as your new Avenger. So you start off with Hulk, and then you start going down the line. Um, I've played as all of them at this point. So I think I'm pretty far when I say I have all of them as the core Avengers, which are Hulk, Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, and Black Widow. So those are considered the core Avengers. Uh, Oddly enough, my favorite is Black Widow to play as.
I've heard that. I think that's a pretty common opinion.
They have her style in that game is really fun to play as. My least favorite is Hulk. 100%. Hulk is terrible to play as. He takes a lot of damage. Like, it's hard to do that. That game's not easy either. Especially depending on what character you have, to try to work on dodging, because obviously if you're a giant large Hulk, you're not going to dodge very well. You're a very large target, and you can take a beating. So, not a fan of Hulk. Iron Man probably third favorite. Thor second. Captain America fourth. No, wait, Kamala definitely fourth, and Miss Marvel fourth, then Captain America fifth, and then a far down the line is a Hulk. Um, but yeah, that game's got a good story. There's a lot of good set pieces in there. Um, as long as you work on varying up your gameplay, like I think if you had to play as one character the whole game, it would suck. It wouldn't, because you do see a lot of the same enemies over and over again. But the fact that you get to switch play styles a lot with different characters, to me seems like a better way of doing that, which then in turn makes me think that as a service game, I think that game would suck, because if you really like one character and you play as them for a while and you max them out, then what do you do? I mean, that I don't know. I guess that's where I look at that game. Because if I went to play that as a games as a service game, and if I got stuck with the Hulk, I'd be like, yeah, I don't want to play this. So, but I think this campaign is definitely worth playing. It's about 10 hours long. The campaign.
It's not bad.
I could do without some of the gear stuff in there. There's a lot, but that's part of the loot game that it is, with the end game piece of it. It just becomes a lot to manage, because you've got.
Did you buy this?
No, I rented it.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
I would not spend $60 on this game. I think this game is probably a $40 game with the polish of a $60 game, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Because I think if
Let me
you're
know.
So
Let me know
fact
when you are returning that, so that I maybe can just pick it
Wednesday,
up. Okay.
factoring all that in,
uh-huh.
Logan, you I don't know. Maybe I'll ask you after you've completed it. Sorry, I was just looking at reviews and how long to beat and stuff like that.
Mhm.
You still feel strong? You feel after saying all that, you still feel strongly that we need to play it,
I think as a
or do you want to finish it and then give us a final verdict, or do you think that there's
as long
enough
as
here to
as long as it
merit?
ends okay, I think it'll be okay. But for since it's about a 10-hour game, I think it's worth playing. I wouldn't say
Okay.
if this game was like 25 hours. First of all, I probably wouldn't recommend it to begin with, but I think this is with the small chunk that this is. There's a lot of good stuff there in that small chunk, and they tell a good enough story in that small chunk that it's worth playing. Um,
Yeah, critics are being hard on this game.
yeah, I think a lot of it is the actual multiplayer part of it is
Okay.
what the critics are hard on it on.
Okay.
But the main part of the game, I think, is worth playing.
Okay.
We do have a friend of ours who is brought up maybe playing together at some point. I don't know if I'll get to that point. I'm gonna text him and see if he's around in a couple days because I think I'll probably finish it tomorrow night. It looks like I'll just from where I'm at. I've got to be really close to the end. Just based on where I finished earlier today. But there's enough unlocks in that game that it brings you on because the thing is it's not like it's one of those two where it's not it's hard for them to do. Like what would you do if it was like, okay, yeah, you got Iron Man and all of a sudden you've got all these weird like unlock trees with him. Like that just doesn't seem right. Like he should have all of his stuff. Thor should be Thor. Like he should have his hammer, he should have his lightning, and they give you that to start with. So a lot of the unlock stuff that you do with it is a little more just kind of like oh, how do I say it? Like it's just more like okay, like it gives you a sprint ability to like if you sprint and hold X, now you can break through an unblockable attack. Like that kind of stuff. But it's not like all of a sudden it's like, oh, now Thor's gained his lightning ability. Like no, he just has that like as well as he should. Like so I think that's one of the parts of that game that with the unlocks that makes sense. Um at the same time, I would maybe if I'm you guys, I would maybe turn it on easy as well to play through it because I had it on normal for the first 50% of that game and it's hard. Like there are sections of that game that are flat out hard. Um and I think it's because they're probably hoping on you having a second player that's not the CPU, and so that's when it started. I started to hit a wall. Was when it was okay. Now all of a sudden you don't have anybody with you except this AI character who is not that great and might be overdoing something you don't want them to do. Um, so I just switched it over to easy and I don't feel like it's too easy. I feel like I'm still having fun with it. And if anything, on easy, it makes you feel like more of a superhero. So there's that. And you can change the difficulty at any time. So play on normal up until a point and go, maybe this is like go, okay. Like or and then tell me like, yeah, I beat the game on normal. You suck at video games. Um, that's fine too.
Nah, I want to play it on easy because especially if it's just an observational thing,
Yeah, I
then
think that was kind of for me too. I was like, I'm not
less
playing.
resistance the better.
Right. I'm like, I'm not playing this to prove a point. Just want to play this to have fun. And like, I was still having fun on easy. So that was my, because it was like, okay, I can toggle this at any point in time. Great. Like if I'm having too much, not having fun anymore, then I'll switch it back. But I think this is definitely worth playing.
Yeah,
I will
I'll
put it
definitely
on
play
my
it.
list.
Yep.
Mhm. I wanted to not like it. That was sad. Like I'd already heard all the critics bashing it, and I was just like, ugh. I will say there are a couple of gross parts. There's about
Don't spoil anything.
no,
Don't
no, no.
spoil.
This is
Okay.
not a spoiler. Uh, there's about a 10-minute section where they walk you to vendors who like they'll be like, oh yeah, go over and check out this weapons vendor. There's gear vendor over there, and yeah, you go over to that gear vendor, and it's all paid currency in the middle of the game.
Mm.
I was like, oh god, like that's ugly. Like it was like you can get new outfits, and I'm like, yeah, I should be able to do that from the main menu or in the multiplayer, but not in the campaign. Like that really rubbed me the wrong way. But it was 5 to 10 minutes of like, hey, go check this out, and then I was like, oh god, no, 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 no. And then they remind, like, I went to a new location where it was like, oh hey, oh by the way, that same vendor, he's over there. And I was like, no, no, no. So there's your Avengers more than a minute update. Um, so I think that was games for everybody. Anybody have any TV they want to hit on real quick?
The Emmys were tonight.
They are tonight. I will go. I
Yeah.
have them recording right now. I will go up and
Oh,
watch
okay.
those.
I won't spoil anything.
Okay.
Then.
Yeah.
There's
So, since we're talking about the Emmys,
Mhm.
and we've done a lot of games this week, my suggestion would be we can talk about anything we've watched this week, but
Mhm.
then do you guys want to do like a poor man's Emmy recap next week?
Sure.
yeah.
Just
Mhm.
like I didn't watch this. I hear it's good, or I love this show, and I'm glad this won.
Yeah. Sounds
And
great.
just kind of take a look at it because it's happening right now. So we might
Mhm.
do a half-assed version of that right now if we tried to do it. Plus,
Go
we've
through
been
the main
talking for a while.
awards. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, oh yeah, of course we've watched nominations for the drama series, right? Of course
Yeah.
we've watched comedy.
Mhm.
Of course we like these actors, and we can kind of dive into that because once we get past Xbox news and maybe Caleb and I played Avengers or something, but it shouldn't be.
I don't think we'll
Once
have a
we talk
ton
about
next week.
Xbox, it won't have a
Yeah.
huge. I mean,
Yeah.
PlayStation had
A week.
games
They had a week.
and a console and whatever the pre-order thing was.
Yeah.
So there was a lot for us to cover there, but next week we could kind of go TV heavy
Yeah.
if you guys want to do
Let's
that.
do it. Yeah. I'd say the only thing I watched this week of any significance was I started The Boys. That show's still The Boys. Still like
Yeah.
it. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Caleb, are you caught up on that?
I am. Yeah, I actually just watched right before we started. I watched the most recent one.
That's episode 4 or 5.
5?
5.
4, yeah, 4 or 5. I
I'm
can't
only
remember.
1.5 in, so I'm
Yeah.
not very far.
I continue to watch Schitt's Creek.
Mhm.
I'm catching up on that. That show is funny. Man, it's funny.
I
And
watched all of those earlier this year.
Did you like all the way through?
When we first went
Man,
into
it's so
quarantine, I
funny.
was like, I just need a show to relax with, and I burned through the whole series in
God,
weeks.
it's so funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it has ups and downs like any sitcom, but Logan, I've gone from like this show is good, watch it if you want, to like
I need to watch the
if
show.
you're looking for a sitcom, there are some laugh out loud episodes.
Okay.
Like Aaron and I watched one yesterday, and we were both like, we were snorting drinks out of our mouth. There's some funny stuff on that show.
I'm assuming this is also not family appropriate by any means.
No.
It's
Well,
not the worst. It's
yeah.
not the worst.
Is it worse
But
than
no,
better or worse than The Simpsons? That I always kind of use that as a bar
worse
from family
because
friendly.
there's language.
Worse language.
Like
Okay.
there's the occasional F bomb is in there. I don't think there's any nudity.
There's most of the stuff like your daughters would not understand what's going on at all.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, just
Okay.
language, I guess. Really,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. It's too witty and grown up, kind of a thing.
Got it. Yeah.
Eugene Levy is so great in that show, and so is Kevin
O'Hara.
Kevin McCallister. Yeah, Catherine O'Hara. She's incredible, and I didn't realize until yesterday. Aaron explained to me that the show was created and written by Eugene Levy's son, who plays his son on the show. I had no idea. This was all news to me tonight, or not tonight, but yesterday. And he's also just fantastic. It's so
I think he might
funny,
actually be the
man.
best character on that show.
Oh yeah, yeah, he is. But the crazy thing is they're all really, really good.
They all get their moments. Yeah.
They share episodes well too, and it's kind of got the American Dad thing that I love so much about the side story. And there's like a small side story, and it's always like someone could be on camera for like a minute in an episode, and it could be the funniest part of that show. Like, and then they just go away for that episode. But it's good. Yeah, I like the show a lot. But I think that's it. Oh, if that's not it, sorry. I watched the final season of Ray Donovan. They thought that show was going to get a 7th season, and
left a cliffhanger, huh?
Yeah. There's a lot of unresolved issues in that finale. It sucks too because you can kind of see where they were headed, and if for better or worse, I can't. When I start a show, I usually see it through.
But now you can't see it through.
I can't. Like, it sucks. It sucks. And it's not a bad show. It'd be different if it was a bad show. The word is that and I don't know about this, but was Viacom acquired by someone?
Viacom owned Showtime. But did Showtime get acquired by somebody different?
I feel like Viacom was acquired by somebody.
Well, CBS merged with Viacom.
Maybe that's it. I think that Ray Donovan is a casualty of that, from what I was seeing. Some bean counter somewhere said, cancel this, I think, because they were going in a really good place, like as far as like the overall arc of the show, and they're not going to get to see it through.
Leif Schreiber's beard trimmer was getting a little too expensive. It's just
out of control.
It was like he just kept breaking blades on that stuff. I mean, it was just so hard. Like,
it was worn out. Please, just a different length.
Like, it's like I have to go with that. Like, 1 day growth. Like, it's just constant.
Yeah, somehow same length all the time, and it's believable too. You're like, he's had a rough week. He hasn't shaved, and he's had his ass kicked like 25 times. But you're right, Logan. He's looked that way for 6 seasons. It's pretty funny. You point that out. That show's good. John Voight won an Emmy in the early days of that show, and he's still
was he
really
still
good
on that show?
Ray's dad.
Oh yeah,
that's what the arc of that show is about.
Yeah, I just didn't know if they killed him off at some point.
No, you always think he's gonna die. You always think this is it. Mickey's dead, and then he survives, and so I think they were in the final season. I think Ray was heading towards the direction of Ray was gonna finish him. Yeah, like, and totally justifiably so. And now, who knows?
So,
that show it'll never get picked up, which sucks.
Yeah, knowing what you know now, is that a show you recommend to people or no?
That it doesn't end.
No. Okay.
No, I love that show too, but I can't.
Yeah,
I can't. It's had too many ups and downs. No, it's too much of an investment because there's so much of it now, and to not see it through, that's a huge ask of someone. It's quality TV, and there's kind of, I guess there's, I don't want to, spoilers. Ray's wife dies at the end of the 5th season, and then he moves.
No, I'm definitely not watching it.
There you go. Yeah, he moves his business from Los Angeles to New York, and there's a line there, like, characters disappear from the show and go a different direction, and some get written off, and so
could you say I almost would say season 5?
Yeah, I would say it's worth to season 5. Yeah, but the past couple of seasons,
I do the same with Dexter. I tell people watch Dexter to season 4, and then just save yourself, because there's no need for that heartache after that. Season 5's not bad.
Season 5's okay.
5's okay.
6 is when it went downhill.
Yeah, but 5's fine. But like, I feel like season 4 ends so ridiculous that you just have to go, okay, it's not going to get any better from here. Just stop.
Yeah.
God, man, the finale of season 4, like I was shook. I was inconsolable.
I will never forget
That was
watching that episode of Dexter.
that was crazy.
My jaw was on the
The-
floor for quite a long time.
That's the only episode of Dexter that I watched live.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because somebody was like, hey, this season's been really good. You should check this out. And I'm like, all right, I'll try to catch up. And I caught up right before the finale. We watched the finale live. And I'm like, well, that's the highlight of my TV viewing experience.
It really is.
It is. Yeah, it was kind of a special time overall in TV because I think it's before we were in totally on-demand world like we are now.
Yeah.
And people immediately, like those that were watching it, had that shared experience, and everyone was just like, Dexter fans all around the world were like, "Come here, buddy. Can you hug? Come here. I know. Bring it in.
Yeah.
Bring it in." That was rough. You know, that is an epic episode of television.
Yeah, man. Lithgow every time. Great actor.
But that's it. I watched all of Ray Donovan, and then I am halfway through season 2 of Yellowstone.
And we're ready to end the podcast. Okay.
Hey, Logan, I thought of you the other day.
Oh no.
One of the cowboys said, "Get on in here and get your supper."
Oh,
and I was
God.
like, "That's how you know it's authentic, Logan. That's how you know." Logan's favorite word. Hey, if the hillbillies of Montana say, "Get on in here and get your supper,"
I don't know
that's
why
how
it's
you know
my
it's
least favorite word in
realistic, Logan.
English language.
I
I
know.
cannot stand the word
Yep.
supper. It angers
Yep.
me to no end.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
why.
was like, I heard it and I was just like, oh God, I gotta tell Logan. Yeah,
Ugh.
so it's immersive. It's the best show on TV. That's the end of the podcast.
All right, fair enough. All right, so tune in next week for an Emmys recap, I guess.
What? No, what?
I thought we hit on you already.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Fine, just end it. It's okay.
Okay. Well, you said you watched the episode of The Voice, but I guess we didn't ask you anything else. Sorry.
That's it. That's all I get. That's all the time I get.
All right.
Caleb, did you watch Yellowstone?
No, I did not watch.
All right, that's the end of the
Then
podcast.
It doesn't count.
The thing that I
come
did
on,
watch
guy, tell us.
Is well, I'm not finished with it yet, but Pen 15, the second season came out.
Oh God, yeah.
Or at least part 1 of the second season.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, really? You don't like that show?
I tried to watch the first season of that, and I was just like, "This is terrible."
It's outstanding, dude.
Oh, I did not care for the first season.
It's really,
tried.
really good. Okay.
You guys have had this discussion before.
We have.
Have we?
Pretty sure.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
have had this discussion
Yeah.
before because I was like, I tried. I really wanted to like that show, and I just couldn't. Same with Letterkenny.
And Caleb had to decide like where this was positioned in his toady list, and then like, yeah, I remember this. Yep. But carry on.
So the second season gets a little bit darker in kind of the situations that they're getting into.
Mm-hmm.
It deals a lot with like the divorce that Anna's parents are going through. They get into witchcraft a little bit. It kind of goes in that direction, but it's incredible to me, especially after listening to an interview with both of them. It's incredible, like the amount of stuff that they're putting out there, the amount that they're pulling from their pasts and just putting it on the screen and saying, hey, this is a story that we want to tell so that people know that they aren't alone, that we've gone through these experiences, and it's not, we've come out of it. So I think it's really it's actually kind of powerful watching it when you see that and you see them being so vulnerable on the screen, and then using the children and a mix between children and adult actors to accomplish that, I think is really unique. And I think that show's outstanding.
I wanted to like it. I just couldn't get into it. I don't know why. It seemed like it was supposed to hit every note for me, but it never did. The premise, everything about it, but I don't know. Maybe I should try it again.
But yeah,
how long are the episodes, Caleb?
They're 30 minutes.
Yeah, they're 30.
That's what I thought. Okay.
I've only watched 3 of the new seasons so far. There's 7 in this half, and then the second half of the season they didn't get to finish filming before the COVID stuff hit. So they're saying it's probably not going to be for at least another year. But it's technically part of season 2 still. But we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of those.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Fargo starts this week.
Yeah. I'm excited about that.
Woo, buddy. Talk about good TV shows, Fargo.
Yes.
Very excited.
Yes.
That's coming at you with a two-parter, right? Right out of the gate.
Oh,
2
gosh,
episodes, I think. Yeah.
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure I could be wrong about that, but I think they're hitting you with episode 1 and 2 right away.
Okay.
Filmed mostly about 45 minutes away from here.
That is true.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, at one point in time, their trailers, I could see them out my back window. Like, my wife was she was basically just trying to look for Timothy Oliphant's dick, but it was not found.
Is that what she hopes she'd just find randomly in the woods? Like people look for Bigfoot. Some people look for the Loch Ness Monster. Monster? Last name Monster. The Loch Ness Monster. But
I think she was looking for a naked Timothy Oliphant with a cowboy hat on. I mean, because I don't think she actually likes Timothy Oliphant. I think she likes Raylan Givens.
It'd be justified.
It would be justified. All right. Anything else that you watch, Caleb, or are you just Pen 15?
Nope.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Next week, Master of Unlocking podcast, Emmys recap, Fargo maybe, and yeah, I think that will work. So maybe some
good
games
talk, boys.
So it was a busy week in games. It was a very busy week for video games. So yes, enjoyed recapping with you, and after my crazy night of trying to get one, and then Jason just randomly getting one.
Yeah, here goes. Hopefully they don't get canceled.
I know, right?
I think we're in good shape, but we'll see.
We'll see. All right, who knows? We're in a new world now. So, all right, this has been the Master of Unlocking podcast for whatever week this is in September. Kind of pushing last week of September here, so that's good. We'll see you next week.